Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Spiral Abyss video, and with the release of Mavuika, it would be wrong not to test her out, and today we're going for a free-to-play friendly team with only 4 stars, not the team which you just saw. Instead, we will be going for Mavuika on the second half, alongside of course herself, chevreuse, bennett, and ororon. Now there are a couple of changes you can make to this team. I actually think Ororon's one of the most important pieces in this team, just so that he can give some Night Soul to Mavuika. Although, for example, you could replace one of these two technically with a Fischl. I'd probably replace Bennett, although Bennett's very good with Mavuika. I mean, if you do have a xilonen, then you could go something like this as well. This would also probably work pretty well. So yeah, there's a couple of options you can use, but this is the one I'm going for personally, and I think it probably is the best one. So if you do have all of these units, then I would recommend going for them. Now, constellations and all that kind of jazz will be at the end alongside character builds. One thing I will mention is my Mavuika isn't the best right now because we have just gotten her. I mean, her stats look okay, although if you go, for example, to her goblet, then, yeah, I didn't realize just how bad some of our pieces were, but she has C0 and then 168 talents. To make up for the talents and the artifacts, I am actually running her on Wolf's Gravestone, so this isn't a full... I mean, this is technically an R0, but it is technically a 5-star, so although this is C0 R0, you know, at first you might think it's not exactly the most relatable if you don't have Wolf's Gravestone, but, I mean, considering some of the artifact quality and talent quality, this should be about C0 R0 performance, especially considering the fact that we are using all 4 stars on the second half. And then also for the first half, we'll be going for neuvillette furina in a double geo team alongside xilonen and zhongli. So yeah, that being said, let's just hop right into it. Alright, and here we are in the first chamber, and we do actually get ourselves an attack buff, which will be nice for our second half team. Pretty useless for the first half team, but oh well, who really cares about that? Now, I have used neuvillette quite a few times in these runs, but I guess it would be kind of nice that we kind of get to compare how neuvillette and Mavuika perform, although obviously this isn't a perfect comparison because they are in different halves. Although I do plan on doing an C1 Arlecchino versus a C0 Mavuika competition. Now, you know, some people are saying Mavuika power creeps Arlecchino, and if that's true, then we'll see if she can beat a C1 Arlecchino, because, I mean, if you guys saw my end of year summons, then you know we did end up getting a double Arlecchino. Although, we nearly got a double Mavuika, we did get a double Pyro Claymore when we were summoning on our main account. The only problem was that the other Pyro Claymore was Diluc. I mean, it would have been a bit more crazy if it was Dea, because, I mean, that would be 2 female Pyro Claymores, although I guess if it's Diluc, that makes it 2 Pyro Claymore DPSs, so I guess that's 3 similarities either way, so, yeah, that is unfortunately a C3 Diluc for me instead of a C1 Mavuika. And okay, with all my yapping, we have managed to clear this in about 75 seconds, so just under the 90-second recommended time. And now let's see how Mavuika does. Okay, I'm thinking here. Because I'm not gonna lie, this is my first time playing Mavuika like properly, so I actually have to think a bit about what I want to do. So okay, that should be the right rotation. Oh, I forgot to press my E first, so we didn't get the obsidian set, I think. Wait, why am I spamming normal attacks? Wait, what am I doing? I'm just realizing now. Oh, I should be holding charge attack. Whoops. You know what? I'll just do that for the next rotation. I can't be asked right now. Why are we going on for so long? Okay, this is... Okay, trust me, in literally a second, I will learn how to play Mavuika. I just completely forgot there what I have to do on her. And unfortunately, because these guys are down right now... Okay, yeah, see, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to E to get all our 40% crit from Obsidian, Q for the massive hit, and then hold charge attack for the bigger sustained damage. So remember that if you are playing your Mavuika. Okay, and we deal 158k there. Okay, decent enough. We're doing about 50k on a charge attack hit. Okay, she did get hit right there, but the nice thing about this team is that obviously Bennett provides healing. I think actually chevreuse heals as well, doesn't she? If I'm not mistaken. I rarely ever use chevreuse. She's 220k there. Okay, yeah, remember, this is, even though it is Wolf's Gravestone, this is basically performing like a 4-star Mavuika, because, I mean, our Bennett isn't the best build either. We're missing chevreuse constellations, and then Mavuika has a horrible goblet, as well as her talents not being maxed out. You know, if we had level 10 skill and burst, then I think that would already upgrade this build a lot. And even though we managed to mess up our first rotation very badly, we were still able to clear this in time. So yeah, I actually think that's a pretty damn strong performance from Mavuika. And with that being said, let's move on to the second half. Alright, and here we are on the second chamber, and we do actually get ourselves a nice elemental burst damage buff, which will be very nice for our Mavuika once again. Now we are just gonna wait until this guy. Okay, there we go. We were just about able to get Neuvillette's balls down. No, do not ask me to repeat what I just said. His water source droplets, there you go, I think that's the proper name. Okay, we are just gonna start up our rotation over here. He should go down very soon. Okay, yeah, just do some normal attacks so that we can go straight into xilonen. There we go, so that we get our crystallized. Okay, he's pushed us back very far, that wasn't very nice of him. And now we just front load some damage with Neuvillette's burst right there. We're not doing the most damage on a tech right now, but okay, we lost our other source droplets, I think, so I'm just going to use the E next for the next rotation and just set that up for a little bit of extra energy. Okay, that was very mean of him. Get Zhongli's red shred up, and I think in the next skill we should be able. Okay, no, man, we won't be taking him out in the next skill. I normally kill this guy in under a minute, so we have just messed up slightly here, but that's fine. We can just use our burst in an emergency, because I feel like that's what Neuvillette's burst is for. If you play him in the way where you use 2 skills instead of skill and burst, then he's way more forgiving. Anyway, I think I'm just gonna get started on my rotation on this guy already. You know, fill up his Night Soul bar pretty quickly, and there we go. Okay, cool. We go back to chevreuse so that we can skill, and then bennett burst, and then use ororon stuff. Okay, he just goes burst back. Perfect. E alt 189k. We'll take that, and we're doing about 30 to like close to 40k per tick right now. Our damage is slightly lower right now. Okay, ouch, that hurt a bit. Okay, go back to ororon. EQ 216k. Okay, I think that just means that we had more Night Soul points in that rotation. And we're doing between 40 to 50k on our charge attacks again. So yeah, that is. Mavuika's pretty easy to play, I'd say. I think this team's pretty damn fluid. I mean, I kind of wish the rotation took 1 minute longer so that cooldowns would line up a bit better. But either way, it's still pretty damn comfortable. And I mean, technically you could look at it as in like, you know, if you get knocked back, then it won't affect your rotation too much. So I actually think this team is pretty damn comfortable to play. And I think you can honestly do it with a C0 chevreuse, like C1 Bennett, C0 ororon, and then just look at the constellations as nice bonuses, especially if you have something like Mavuika's signature. So if you have like R1 Mavuika and then, you know, just C0 4 stars, you should be able to get the job done. But anyway, it's time to move on to the third and final chamber. Alright, and here we are in the final chamber, and we do actually get ourselves an EM buff, which is again nice for our Mavuika team. We didn't get any like insane buffs for our second half, but we got 3 like pretty damn decent ones. The only thing which would have been better would be a crit buff. Okay, this wolf's being annoying. I honestly I'm not sure what the best thing to do is when he's, you know, doing all this little stuff, but yeah, honestly, I've been very pleasantly surprised by just how good our Mavuika team has been doing, considering the fact that there's no 5 stars there. Mavuika doesn't have her signature. Now, I know some people are going to say, you know, Wolf's Gravestone, blah, 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 but I really do think that her level right now is about, if not slightly worse than a properly invested into Mavuika with like the mailed flower weapon, stuff like that. And to be fair, Wolf's Gravestone is more obtainable than some of the event weapons that people will be running on Mavuika. So I do think this is actually a pretty relatable showcase, especially considering the level of investment we have on our Mavuika. I just feel like I need to repeat that sometimes before people start going off in the comments on how this isn't a proper free-to-play showcase, because I got I actually have 2 Wolf's Gravestones off standard banner. Actually, no, I have 3. I have 2 on one of my accounts. I don't know which one, and then 1 on the other. So, yeah, 3 Wolf's Gravestones across 2 accounts. I would have really loved, like, a Skyward Harp on either account for either my Child or my Tignaria on either account. So, Yeah, that would have been nice, but alas, no, we cannot. Anyway, we clear in 85 seconds on our neuvillette. Now, that team is definitely fully C0 R0, luckily. No 5-star weapons whatsoever to be had there. Anyway, we just used our chevreuse skill there because ororon didn't quite have his ult up there yet. But I think now we can Chevy skill into Bennett ult, into ororon util, and now into Mavuika 212k once again, 57, like high 50ks per tick right now. Yeah, mid to high 50ks. Only 10k there on the final hit, but I don't think the final hit matters too much. And then again, we just about get all of our energy before we have to get going again. Now the nice thing is you actually get a lot of iframes in this team. I'm not sure if we crit there. We might not have. I wasn't looking at the number, but I just feel like we didn't. But yeah, considering how fast the uptime is on this team, I actually think it worked pretty damn well. And there you go, I was able to call perfectly when he was gonna try absorbing an element once again. And 261k there on the ult because he was downed. Very nice, and he is basically dead. So yeah, Mavuika has actually had a very good run considering her build, her teammates. Then I'm very impressed there, and we didn't even have to use a fifth ult. I think that would have been the fourth ult. So yeah, Mavuika has thoroughly impressed me. I think she would have been able to clear everything, all of these 3 chambers in 90 seconds, and this isn't actually an abyss which favors her that much. I believe the next abyss coming out will be insane for her, but you know, I'm actually kind of glad that this one isn't, you know, super omega insane just because, or super tailor-made to her, just because it makes this a more realistic showcase. And if in an abyss which isn't specifically made for her, she can do this well in a not the best investment with this kind of team, then I think that's a very good sign for her. So yeah, if you have these characters, definitely do recommend, you know, putting Mavuika and trying this team out. But although it does kind of depend on having an ororon, but you know, there's other Mavuika teams you can run with, like xilonen and zhongli if you don't have ororon. Although I think if you don't have any Natlan characters whatsoever, then it might be a bit of a struggle if you're trying to play her as a DPS. In that case, you might only want to use her as a skill bot, but I'm not entirely sure. I'm sure someone else will make something on that. But yeah, with that being said, let's move on to the outro and the character builds, as well as some final thoughts. Well then, as you can see, even without the best investment, Mavuika was more than able to hold her own. She is still very strong at C0 R0. Now, if you don't have ororon, then you might struggle a little bit more. But, I mean, if you do have him, then this is a great team you can use if you didn't pull for someone like xilonen. So, yeah, and then obviously if you have anyone like xilonen and zhongli, then Mavuika is just absolutely insane. But, real quick when it comes to our character builds, so starting off with our neuvillette, 44 217, this does go up to 80 to 217 thanks to Marsh. A little bit of VR, prototype Amber, F2P build on this entire team, and then for his constellations, C0 and then 1088 talents, furina 64 207 168 ER alongside Fav, Golden Troop, built as you would expect it to be, C0 and then 2910 talents. When it comes to our xilonen, I mean, she's not the best build, 1.9k defense. Oh wait, I'm just realizing something. Wait, if she's on Fav, yeah, oh, this was Archaic Petra xilonen. Whoops. She's supposed to be on Hero, so you know what, the neuvillette performance could have been improved. It's just because she was on Archaic Petra, which is an oopsie on my part. And then we just have a shield bot zhongli here as well on Millilith. There you go, and yep, of course, once again, C0696 talents. Now, when it comes to the Mavuika half, you guys saw it a bit at the beginning. A6 EM, 41 crit goes up to 81 thanks to the Obsidian set. 205 crit damage, ER literally does not matter whatsoever. And then also Wolf's Greystone, as I showed off earlier, and then our Obsidian pieces. I mean, our Flower and Feather aren't that bad. I did use the Artifact Creator to make this Sans piece because we literally had none for her. And then I didn't realize that you couldn't do 2 of the same set in the same patch. So this is the Pyro Goblet we are running with. And then this is our Circlet, which is our off piece. And then again, she is C0, 168 talents. And then also Bennett, he's not the best either. His Aquila is only level 70. He's not leveled up to, well, he's not ascended to the next level. He is C6 though, which is nice, although that means that we won't be getting the level 13 buff from here. So yeah, I'd say the Wolf's Gravestone on Mavuika is still about C0 R0 level. I mean, it definitely is. This is probably around a not too well invested Mavuika. So I'd say this showcase should be pretty relatable to anyone. Anyway, moving on to our other characters, Ororon, just quickly onto him. He has basically no EM, so the overloads we're triggering are not going to be doing that much damage. 167 Yada, 5 Warbow as well, and he is on the hero set, unlike our xilonen, which again, whoopsies. And then he is actually C6 himself, and then 1911 talents, although unlucky we did not get that fortunate with Chevreuse. She is only C1, although she's had way more banners. I mean, her build isn't incredible either. I'm just realizing now that we have 2 noblesse characters, and obviously these effects don't stack, but honestly, who cares? And then, like I said, C1, 181 talents. So, yeah, that's it for our character builds. Hopefully you guys enjoyed and found this helpful. Let me know what Mavuika teams you're running, how you're finding her, and I think after this we're going to be going for a C1 Arlecchino versus a C0 Mavuika comparison on my main account. So yeah, with that being said, I will see you guys next time, and see ya.